Perfect. Well, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Silver Spoon podcast. Today, we are going to talk about limiting money beliefs. What are some common ones and how we can put in the work to get rid of them? We're really excited to be joined by Rafi Shaik. He is the founder and owner of Peaceful Financial Advisor Lifestyle, a coaching firm helping financial advisors shift their mindsets, build seven-figure businesses, and take 100 days off. Doesn't that sound nice? 100 days off. Rafi has 2 decades of experience in being a financial advisor himself, and he's bringing all the lessons that he's learned being a business owner, being an advisor to his clients, his financial advisor clients now. And today we are fortunate enough to grab a few of those lessons from him in helping to get rid of limiting beliefs so we can continue to elevate personally, professionally, of course, financially, and however we see fit. Thank you so much for joining us today, Rafi.
Thank you so much for having me. Pleasure is all mine. It's an honor and privilege to be here and speak to your audience, and looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, let's dive right on in then. So, the first limiting belief that we want to talk a little bit about is around financial decision making. So, often financial decisions involve trade offs, involve sacrifice. There's something that you have to give up in order to get the thing or save up for the thing that you want to achieve. How can we more effectively navigate the challenges of delayed gratification and prioritize long term goals over immediate wants, especially in this day and age where, like, I feel like instant gratification is just like the thing, whether it's social media or ordering something off Amazon. Like, we are surrounded by instant gratification. So, how
True.
can we hone back in and sort of limit the temptation of those easy to grab options?
No, absolutely. This is one of those finance caveats where everyone is in the dilemma, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I myself was an advisor for almost 2 decades, and I've seen this firsthand. It's one common questions was, do I spend everything today and not have anything for tomorrow, or do I save everything today and you know
Right.
and have that money at the end?
Mm-hmm.
There should be a happy medium where everyone has to find for themselves. And I talk about this concept called 30,000 days.
Okay.
So on average, a human being, at least in North America, lives for about 30,000 days. Okay,
Okay.
that's the concept. So for the first 10,000 days, you're gonna go to school, graduate,
Mm-hmm.
get the job, you know, that sort of phase.
Right.
And the next 10,000 days that's when we actually start making money. That's
Mm-hmm.
where, we kind of get the mortgages, the cars, the businesses taking off, careers taking off, kids, marriage, and all that stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
And the next phase is the next 10,000 days where you're probably retiring at some retirement destination or just going into the sunset. So that is how I look at it. So if you look at from a 10,000-foot view, for most of the listeners, probably that 10,000 first 10,000 days phase is gone. Now they are in that middle where that's where everything happens.
Right. Right.
Whatever decision you make, either that will make you or break you
That's very
in
true.
those 10,000 days. And the challenge is finding that balance. As you mentioned, our current society, we want everything instant.
Mhm.
We want an Amazon same day delivery.
Right.
We want to go through drive through. We don't want to park our car and go inside to grab a coffee.
Right.
We want everything instant. But this is how I look at it. It kind of pains to sacrifice now because we don't know the unknown in the
Mm.
future.
Yeah.
That is why I say that finding a balance. Of course, we wanted to save for the future, but we wanted to have life today.
That's
We
very
wanted to
true.
live today.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter. I have had clients, They save for those 10,000 days.
Mm-hmm.
Then there comes the day when the next 10,000 days starts. And the first question they're asking is, I have accumulated this wealth, how am I going to spend it?
Yeah, very true.
Because what happens is,
Mm-hmm.
we are creatures of habit. When you go into that ultra saving mode, you save and save and save and save, you
Mm-hmm.
come to a point where it is very hard for you to spend that money. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one category.
Yeah.
The other category is they spend and spend and spend, but when it comes to the retirement, or they know, okay, I got only 5 more years that I can work, and after that, even I wanted to work, like physically, my body is not allowing me to work or to make that money.
Right. Yeah.
And for them, because all these years, for 10,000 days, you got used to a certain lifestyle. Because humans, the natural tendency is to resist change. So when they go into that last final phase and where they have to live within their means, for those who are listening, I'm doing air quotes here,
Mm-hmm.
it is very hard to live within the means.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is why one has to find an objective. I call it a why. What is your why?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you doing this? You keep going back to that one question. So you go walk into a store and you see a beautiful dress and you wanted to buy that dress, and you know that you don't have the money, or you know that it is very hard. If you buy the dress, then probably you would go into a more credit card debt or whatnot.
All right.
In that moment, you have to ask yourself an honest question. That's a moment of truth. That's the mirror. You look into the mirror and you ask that question: why am I buying this dress? Is this to impress my friends, my colleagues? Or is this going to give me naturally the happiness, internal happiness that I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, in most of the cases, like 90% of the times, it is from external sources. Anything we wanted to purchase, material things we wanted to purchase in life,
Mm-hmm.
it's either because of something or someone.
Yeah.
That is why I like the book Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. He writes it very beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to buy the things to impress people who we don't like. And we wanted to invest in things which we don't want to invest, to spend the time with people whom we don't want to spend with.
Yeah, beautifully put.
So, because it's all impulse, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you go on a Boxing Day, it happens with everyone. It happens with you, it happens with me, it happens with every. That's what makes us human.
Yeah, that's
If
very
we
true.
don't have those human emotions, then we would be as good as this table, chair, or the wall,
Right.
right? So that is how I look at it. So anytime you come across this, like, do I do a delayed gratification or I want instant gratification? But when you delay the gratification, it compounds. Meaning, say you wanted to take a backpack Europe trip, and you know that for 3 weeks it costs you, I'm just throwing a number, $5,000.
Right.
And you save. Your friends are going out Friday nights to the pubs or they're doing whatever, and you don't want it to go spend that $200, $300. You save that $200, $300 and you save the entire year. And after 12 months, you go take that trip of that 3 weeks. The joy you get out of it,
Mm-hmm.
it's compounded,
Yeah.
because instant gratification gives you a jolt right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like putting a band-aid. But delayed gratification is actually the solution.
Yeah.
Because when you try to band-aid a situation, you have to keep band-aiding it. There is no end,
Yeah, that's very true. That's
because you're just acting on your whim. That is why I say that go back to your why. When you are saving that money for the Europe trip and your friends say that, oh, okay, it doesn't matter, 1 week, we can go out. You can cut some slack.
Mm-hmm.
Ask that why. Am I doing this with peer pressure? Or am I doing this for myself?
Yeah. Oh, that's so
So
true. That's
that is why. Your why has to be bigger
mm-hmm.
than your reason to act on that impulse. And I do talk about why a lot, even in our program with advisors. And I always say that always have a why which is way bigger than your goals. Way bigger. Because when you are on a pursuit of any goal, I can guarantee you one thing. I cannot guarantee you anything else, but I can guarantee you one thing: you will hit obstacles. You will hit roadblocks.
Mm-hmm.
But when you hit those roadblocks, the one thing and the only one thing which will save you is your why. If you hold on to that rope, that why, it will save you. It doesn't matter whether like people are in a fight and breaking up, or it's a relationship.
Right.
Ask why. I'm going out of this relationship. Why did I get into this relationship in the first place? I have 2 young kids.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. They're amazing, amazing. But there are moments they just drive me crazy.
Right.
In that moment, I just take a deep breath and ask, why? Why did I have the kids in the first place? Because I know they're going to give me fulfillment,
Yeah. No, that's very
right?
true.
If we can hold on to that why, at the end of the day, that's what will save us.
Yeah. I agree with that 100%. I think the why is so important. I think it definitely does. It keeps you weathering the storm. It keeps you moving forward because the goals will get accomplished, and then what? Like,
True.
what's next? So
Absolutely.
you definitely have to hold on to that why. I love that. I love that so much. I think that was perfect. And I love the example about travel because I think that's so true. Like when I'm preparing, like travel is a big why for me. Like I seek
Me too.
I
There's two of us.
I I seek financial freedom just so I can be able to go out and experience the world. And I will say, like, one of my favorite, like, my top feelings is like the preparation when it's just a couple of weeks out from the trip. Like, you've been excited about it all these months and you're getting ready. And I just love, like, going to the airport. Like, to me, like, going there is like this exciting, like, thing on its own before you even actually get to the place. So I think that's so true, and it's because like travel is something that's really important to me, and I think when you can have those
True.
feelings and emotions and attach that to something that keeps the train going, keeps the wheels moving forward. So I love that. I appreciate that you shared that with us.
Yeah.
um,
Sorry, one thing I would like to add.
mhm,
Say you accomplish that goal of you want to travel to Europe or something, and you have made memories, right? Like you have pictures, you have souvenirs or whatnot,
mhm,
and you put up a next goal. Say your next goal is you wanted to buy a property or you wanted to buy a dream car.
right.
And when you said that why and you're working towards it, then again, all these obstacles, the noise will come to kind of distract you because we live in a more distracted world than anything else.
Yeah, very true.
Go back to your previous accomplishments
Mhm,
because that's your evidence. That's your evidence of the power of delayed gratification. When you look at that, it that's what like human brains work such a amazing ways. We don't connect with anything else. The only thing which connects us to the past is the emotion, how we felt.
mhm,
Say you took a Hawaii trip or you took a Europe trip and you are in Portugal or wherever, okay? You're in say Madeira Island
mhm,
and you're looking at the mountains and you feel so much alive and you stand there and you take a picture. Hold on to that picture
mhm. Yeah,
because that's your trump card. That is what will help you get to the next goal,
yeah,
right?
that's so true.
So I always say that. So in our program, we talk about this quite a lot. For the financial advisors, sometimes when a client says no or the client leaves them, they say that, okay, like, I don't want to work with you or whatever. It's very hard not to take personal.
Yeah.
I always tell them, go back and listen to the conversations where clients were blown away by your help.
Mm-hmm.
You have helped them literally out of the depths of the world. That does two things. One, it gives you the confidence. Two, it makes you grounded. It is not them, it is me. The
Right.
same thing with this. So when you are going on from one goal to other goal, as you mentioned, always, Tony Robbins says this, success, if I'm not wrong, if it's him, success leave footprints.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, watch those footprints as you walk along, because you know that is what will take you. While you're walking forward, just turn your head and look at those.
Yeah. I love that. That's a perfect way. And yeah, yes, I think yeah, that was Tony Robbins. Right, perfect. Okay, so the next sort of limiting belief that we want to talk a little bit through is the fear of failure. I especially think in those, if you're looking at the 30,000 sort of days, going back to that sort of idea, within those 10,000 where everything happens, I feel like a lot of people can be afraid to sort of take risk and to just do the things that they need to do to be able to make those footprints in the sand. How can we begin to embrace more of a growth mindset and develop an attitude for experimentation and taking calculated risk during these monumental times so that we can see the growth that we know will happen, or maybe we're not sure it'll happen, but we hope that will happen in the future, whether that be financially, personally, professionally. How can we take steps to embrace more of a growth mindset?
Anything worthwhile, when you are acting out of your comfort zone, there's always fear.
Mm,
There's always fear. I am a big believer in neuroscience and power of manifestation and power of subconscious mind. And I teach the same thing in our program as well. And what I have seen is when you have goals and when you're acting, see, you're in the circle, okay?
right.
So imagine this is a circle for someone who's listening. So audio only. Just imagine a circle, a big circle. You are inside that big circle. And something which you want is outside of that circle. It's outside here. If you really wanted to attract that, you cannot just pull that into your circle. You have to expand to bring that into your circle. Your big circle has to expand so that whatever your goal is, whatever you're thinking, it's out there. So it's out of your comfort zone. So you have to grow into that comfort zone and act.
Yeah.
So a lot of people talk about vision boards and visualization. Yeah, I do all look at all that.
Mm-hmm.
But in my personal opinion, any idiot can do vision board. Anyone can do visualization. Anyone can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But the real gist of manifesting your goals is to take action despite of that fear.
Yeah.
Say you wanted to get into a relationship. You like a person, I don't know, your colleague or like someone, and you wanted to ask that person out. You have the fear. And the other person is giving you the opportunity, but you are not mustering the courage.
Mm-hmm. Right. Miss out
You
on.
have nice beautiful vision board, you have put in, okay, like this person, I'm gonna go on a date, probably someday, get into a relationship and get married and have kids and start a family, do all those things, but you're not taking that first step of asking the person out.
Right. Right.
See, you wanted to buy a dream house, and you put the picture of that house and you're manifesting it, you're visualizing it, you're doing all these things, but when the day comes to pull the trigger, you're not doing it. then the universe, the subconscious mind, or whatever you want it to call your higher self, thinks that, okay, this person wants it, but it's not serious enough to take the action.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of goes away. Then we blame, yeah, I did visualization, I did the vision boards, I did all these things that the so called gurus say, but nothing worked. Well, I say that nothing will work until you work it out.
I like that. Nothing will work.
You wanted to get a dream car.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. You have to visualize it, you have to work towards it. But when the day comes to pull the trigger, if you just chicken out at that point of time, then game over. Absolute game over. All it takes is 10 seconds of courage. All great things happen to great people in the moments of fear when they took that 10 seconds of courage to act it anyways. I'll tell you about myself. When I was leaving advisory world, I was a 7-figure rolling year average revenue generating advisor.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of the top advisors in Canada. A lot of advisors, when they come into doing something like this, they actually have the practice and they do something like this on the side.
Okay.
But I decided, because I had the urge and the calling to actually help people transform their lives, I said, you know what? I'm going to drink my own Kool-Aid. I'm going to act on my own learning, and I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And I jumped on it with my 2 feet. Because I know the universe rewards people who take action. Everyone has fear. But what you do after that, public speaking is the biggest fear. What do you think the folks like Tony Robbins or Jim Rohn, all these folks who used to address or who are addressing like thousands of people on the big stages, what do you think? Like they don't have fear? They do have absolute fear.
Mm-hmm.
But that 10 seconds, they take the courage and to act it. That's what catapults them into that. Because on the other side of the fear, that's where the success is. That's where the freedom is. It's just that one door. And it takes 10 seconds to open that door.
That's true.
Only 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether it's a relationship, whether it's the job or the business that you want. It's a house or the car, whatever you want. If listeners who are listening, the audience, if you take away anything from this podcast, I want you to take away this. Act on it, because freedom and success, wealth, anything worthwhile likes action, and it likes action with speed. Yeah, I will act on it after my 10,000 days. No. We want to act now.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people go into this perfection mode.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll do it when I'm 35. I'll do it when my kids are older. I'll do it when I get into that job. I'll do it when I have this much income. I'll do it this. I'll do it that. No. My one question, what is stopping you right now to do that?
Yeah. So
You want to start a business? What is it stopping you now? You ask that question sincerely. That's your moment of truth. And you act now. Yeah. Elon Musk makes $1 billion decisions in 30 seconds. I know it's a bit of a stretch. For a common person, it is hard to make like big decisions in such a small time frame.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, at least the things which are trivial. We go to a coffee shop or McDonald's or someplace and staring at the board what to buy. And people are lined up behind us. For me, I say that you wanted to learn how to act, start acting there. 90% of accidents happen because of indecision. 90% of road accidents happen because of indecision. You're in an intersection, you're whether to go or not to go. That's when the accidents happen. Accidents don't happen because like you weren't paying attention, or they do. only 10% of the time, but 90% of the time accidents happen because of that reaction time. You want it to go, you want it to stay, but don't be in between. That's what will get you killed.
Yeah. That's a good piece of advice. Definitely.
Right? Either you're an entrepreneur or you're not. Either you're pregnant or you're not. There is nothing in between. Either you're committed or you're not. You're in a relationship or you're not.
That's
And that is where I guess most of the people spend their time.
that's true. Yeah.
That time, because that time is so self-soothing. Just harboring those thoughts. Okay, one day I'll become this, one day I'll do this, one day. Keep thinking about those thoughts. It makes you feel better, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I always say that you want the result, you want to feel better. You pick.
Yeah.
Because
That's awesome.
I can think about going to Europe and feel better about it, or I can actually take action to actually go see Europe. Two totally separate things.
Yeah.
And majority of the masses, they live in the first category. Oh, one day I'll do this, one day I'll do that. And all these things come into play. And that is why I say that I bring that back to the balance. You wanted to know what the balance is. And how you get the balance, you create a why. You wanted to have a why. Write down your why. Writing down has something magical in it. Don't ask me why, because I don't give a crap about why. All I care about is like it works.
Right. Yeah.
Because like if I get a heart attack, or if I'm in a chemotherapy, or if I'm in a brain surgery, I don't want my surgeon, I don't want it to know everything what my surgeon is doing. I just want my damn surgeon to help me live the life.
Right.
But a lot of people focus on things which are unnecessary.
It's very
You know,
true.
fighting over petty things, just wasting the energy, sitting on the couch and watching Netflix, where they can actually take the action and go do the thing which will move them one step closer to their dreams.
Mm-hmm.
We always have choice. We always have choice. I always say that.
Yeah.
It's one of my things. I always say that you have a choice. When I talk to business people, they say, "Oh, I'm not getting clients." Okay, you always have a choice. Either you can be a victim of that story, always thinking, "Oh, okay, things are not working," or you gonna get off your ass and do something about it.
Right. That's
You
because
can
we
always
all.
complain that, oh, my relationship sucks. My spouse is this and that. You can always complain about that, or you can actually do something about it.
Yeah. That's
You
true.
can always complain about your job. My job sucks. My boss sucks. Like whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
or you can take action to do something about it. That's the reason I said nothing works until you work it out.
Yeah. No, that's all. It's very true. Like we all have a role that we play in our own suffering. Things don't just happen to us, but it's the actions that we choose.
No,
Um,
it's say things happen to a lot of people. Right?
mhm.
Even for me to launch this business and go into this career path, I had a lot of spiritual awakening and things that happened. That's the reason for me. That was my moment of truth. Either I can stay in a cushy, you know, work I was doing. I was making the money and beat myself every single day that I had so much potential that I could offer to the world, spread and inspire and transform others, and not do it. That's the worst thing.
Right.
When you know that you have a passion and you have certain gifts that you can share with the world, and in spite of that awareness you don't do anything, there is nothing worse than anything. That's the worst thing.
Yeah. That's very true. Mhm.
And a lot of people just live in that spot, and it all starts with that awareness.
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. What are some things people can like? What helped you? I guess you mentioned really focusing on the why, but what sort of helped you? What helps you act? What helps you take that first step? Because I think sometimes, yeah, like how you mentioned, like we often overthink things and we spend a lot of
True.
time worrying about unnecessary things. So, what helps you act? What is something that is what is something that helps you just make that first step to get the sort of ball rolling? Because once you
It
take it,
sounds like a Nike commercial. Just do it.
yeah, yeah, I love it.
Just do it. Don't think about it. Just do it. Because something done today
Mhm.
is 1,000x better than a perfect tomorrow.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you want to start a business, start a family, or get onto a venture, whatever scares you, you do it. There's something magical happens when you do something when you're like scared, you
Mhm.
have clueless, and you're literally like pissing in your pants. And you act, you take that first step towards that. Something magical happens. Doors open up. Doors open up beyond your imagination, beyond, like, you can't even fathom it.
Mhm.
That's what, as a coach, like, I help others to kind of see the greatness that I can see in them. They can see it themselves,
Yeah.
but I don't give them that truth the very first day. I give them the overview, but I don't say that, hey, you know what, I can see the potential that you could be making like 8 figures in the next 4 years.
Mhm.
They would freak out. So you prepare yourself to do that.
Mhm.
How? By taking action. That's why I say that when you take action, you can correct the course along the way. There is nothing wrong with it.
Mhm.
You start a business, not a problem. If it fails, you'll do another one. But at least you know. And the universe knows that, okay, this person is serious. This person acts on the goals that they have established. They are not just visualizing it, they are not just writing it down, they are actually acting to make them fulfilled.
Mhm.
So that is why I say that taking action in spite of fear, it doesn't have to be perfect, because most of the times the fear that holds us back is either imposter syndrome.
Mhm.
That's number one. Of
Yeah.
anything, that's number one.
Yeah.
The second thing is what others would think of me, what my friends would think of me, what my family would think of me, whatever.
Mhm.
So it's one of these two.
Yeah.
Because if you look at how the addictions work, if you look at the addiction, why people go into certain addictions, or they get so attached to the TV or just distractions, like not focusing.
Right.
Because I do talk about more mindfulness, you know,
Mhm.
that is very important, especially in this chaotic world. You want it to be centered, you want it to stay grounded. That is what will drive you towards success.
Yeah.
It's only one of the two thoughts: either I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff falls into one of those two categories. To belittling ourselves, okay, I cannot do this. Why someone else said that? It is your goal, it is your dream.
Mhm.
If you don't protect it, no one else will protect it. If you don't fight for it, no one else will fight for it.
Right.
Like, I can hire the world's best fitness coach.
Mhm.
He or she, they're not going to lift the weights for me.
Yeah.
I
Certainly.
still have to do it myself.
Mhm.
I have to still act.
Yes.
That,
Yeah.
like I said, that only takes 10 seconds of courage.
Yeah. Just do it.
If people can hold their breath for those for those 10 seconds and act it anyways, I think world will be a much better place.
Yeah.
Much better place.
I love
Yeah,
that.
people will have healthy relationship, healthy families, healthy lifestyles.
Yeah. I agree. I
Build
definitely.
wealth, purposeful wealth,
Yeah. That's very
and
true.
impact. Create the impact.
Yeah.
And I always talk about this. The reason why you wanted to take action is not just because of you. You want to take action or you wanted to achieve something. When you take this action and the universe opens up the doors for you and lays the path for you moving forward, because one thing connects with another thing, another thing will connect with another thing. And when these things kind of get connected, it gives you a glimpse into something beautiful. I can't even explain it. Like someone has to actually experience it. And you would experience it only when you do it.
Right.
If you wanted, if you have big, scary, audacious goals, and okay, I don't want to leave this job to go start my business. I don't want it to get out of this bad relationship or something like that. Anything big. Start something small. Get yourself habituated for that. Something you're scared, go do those smaller things. What is the worst thing that could happen?
Yeah.
What is the worst thing that could happen? Right? Some people gonna think about, like, you're planning to post something on social media, but you're scared to speak to your audience in a video.
Mm-hmm.
But just go do it. What's the worst thing that could happen?
Yeah.
No one is gonna come and kill you unless until you post something outrageous,
But yeah, no, that's very true. There's no
right?
harm in try. Yeah.
So if we lead with that frame,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's not that difficult because human brains work in that way. They wanted to make things complicated than they actually are. It is not the things that happen to us; it's the meaning that we give to them.
No, that's
Like
very
you walk into an office or someplace with a dress, you think it's good, but deep inside you think, nah, I don't. Maybe people are looking at me. Maybe they're just looking at you casually.
true.
Maybe they are looking at you, wow, that's a nice dress, and maybe I need to get one. But the meaning you give, why are they staring at me? Am I that ugly? Am I not even worthy to wear this dress? So it's not what happens to you, it's what the meaning that you give it to.
Yeah, I love that.
That is why I say that you always have a choice. You always have a choice. You can be a victim of that story,
Mm-hmm.
or you can turn it around and go pursue your dreams.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. I love that. I love that. And to wrap it back to, but then also take us to the next one. You mentioned that the most like the fears that people tend to have are the fear of not being worthy enough, not being enough, imposter syndrome, or the fear of being judged by others, the fear of people wondering what you know you're wondering what they're going to think about you and what you do, and sort of honing in on that one a little bit. Oftentimes that can be a hindrance to having these open conversations about things that we're going through, whether they be financially or otherwise. And often, for sure, in money conversations, they can be kind of taboo because we're worried about what people are going to think about us if they hear that we're struggling with debt, or we haven't saved any money, or we're not buying a house in the next 5 years, or whatever the goal is. We could be worried about what they're going to think, and so that keeps us from maybe not seeking help, not asking people for different, just different viewpoints, different ways that we can start to do things. That can lead to a lot of like isolation and just like feeling of a lack of support. What is the benefit to building a support network and finding mentors and just having those conversations without hesitation, to discuss goals and challenges? How is that something that can benefit us versus us sort of keeping it all inside?
I am a big believer in two things, especially if you're on a path to growth. The number one is you need a support, a coach, or a mentor, or a well wisher
Hmm.
who can give you an objective overview of what you're going through. I always say there's a bottle syndrome. So, say say this is a bottle. There's someone who's just audio only. Say you have a bottle with a label on it.
Hmm.
It's very hard to read the label on the bottle, especially when you're inside the bottle.
Ooh, that's good.
And when we are inside it, we always keep thinking, okay, this bottle is, I'm all water. It's all, only water. It's plain drinking water, H2O, nothing else, tap water. But the person who's outside looking at the label, he says, dude, it says Monster Energy Drink. You drink this like it's superpower. But you don't know it because you're inside. You can't read it.
Right.
Sometimes people kind of lean on someone they are close, very close to. Say, imagine this is the bottle. If you hold this bottle like this, can you read the label? If you hold the bottle like 2 centimeters away from your eyes, can you read the label?
No.
You cannot. That is why you need someone who's distant. That is where the coach or a mentor or an advisor, like someone who's in that capacity, who can give you an objective third party advice on what is going on, who's not going to sugarcoat you, who's not gonna say, oh yeah, you're okay, don't feel bad. A lot of people, 97% of the America is in the same brand, so just to make you feel better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, you need someone who can actually give you the truth.
Yeah.
Whether you can handle it or not, that's secondary. But someone who can actually speak the truth. And trust me, it's always harder. Always, always harder. Because it's outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah. That's very
Because if you already knew it and you're acting on it, you wouldn't be in that situation in the first place.
right.
Right?
Right.
So that's one. Then the second thing is having a community around it. You are part of, I don't know, Facebook group or mastermind groups or I don't know, local chapters, like whatever that support group is. Because when it is a group, I don't know if you have read Laws of Success, Napoleon Hill's work, and he talks about this quite extensively. When two people meet, when they put their heads together, when their minds commingle, then another third mind, which is more powerful and superior than those two minds, forms, which becomes the part of that energy. And I'm a big, big believer in that because I have seen countless times how it has worked. And that is why, as part of our program, we have Mastermind as well. We have a 12-week program where we train, help advisors get the blueprint, to establish 7-figure practice and take 100 days off.
Mm-hmm.
And after they graduate this program, then they have a year-long program. It's a mastermind. It's a group of all successful financial advisors who's going to be part of that program.
Mm.
Because the dynamics that get created in that group would be at another level. You won't get that individually. That is why if you see a lot of successful entrepreneurs, they are always part of a group. They're always part of a group.
Yeah, that's true.
Because success begets success.
Yeah.
Mediocrity begets mediocrity. It's as simple as that.
Right. That's very true.
And that is the problem. And finding the right support, either mentor, coach, or advisor, or a community where you can be in,
Mm-hmm.
it is challenging, but it's not impossible. If you can find these two, that will set you on a right path. See, you want to go from New York to San Francisco. You know where you wanted to go. You put that on the GPS and you go from there.
Mm-hmm.
But once in a while, you need to look at the GPS. You cannot just sit in the car and keep driving. A lot of people know what they wanted to do, but they don't do it. Why? Because they don't look at the GPS.
Mm. Yeah.
Your support system, your coach, advisor, mentor, and your community, that is that support system.
Right. Yeah. I love that. That's.
And I cannot emphasize how big of a role that it plays.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter whether you want to build a real estate portfolio. Go find the groups which are involved in real estate because that's all they are talking about every day. And when you're going into the game, you will learn their challenges. You'll learn their successes. You will learn how they did it. because there is no point in reinventing the wheel. Someone already did it in that group. You just get their advice.
Right.
That's how the group dynamic works. You give energy and you get energy,
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
right?
Very true.
That's why Alcoholic Anonymous, AA, it's such a widespread group. Ever thought about it? Why it is? Because of the community,
Yeah,
because of their process.
that's true.
And if you know someone who's struggling in your family or friends or someone, that's probably the first thing that you would say. You know what? Go join one of these groups.
Yeah.
Why? Because of the group dynamics. There is something magical beauty about the group. As humans, as individuals, we always seek that.
Mm-hmm.
That is the reason why we meet for people for Thanksgiving. That is the reason why we wanted to meet people for Christmas or around holidays or
Mm-hmm.
whatever you do. That is the reason why COVID was so hard for people.
Yeah.
Everyone said that, you know what, I wanted to be in isolation. I wanted to be all alone. Yeah, it worked out for 1 week. After 1 week, people went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because of this. Because as human beings, as energy beings, we need energy. And we feed off of each other.
That's
And
very
that energy gets compounded when you are among the people who vibrate at the same energy. And it works on the opposite as well. You go to talk to someone who is in the victim state, who's in the self-sabotage state, who's in the apathy, the lowest vibration state. You spend 10 minutes with them, you just feel like, man, this world is coming to an end.
yeah.
Why? Because they suck your energy out. So when you go to these groups, it will elevate your energy. And when you meet people like that, it will suck your energy out. So you have to be very careful, because that's one of the rarest currencies that you have, the energy currency. People underestimate it.
Mm-hmm.
People think money is the only currency or time is the only currency. No, energy is the biggest currency,
Yeah. That's so
because
true.
it could help you and elevate your game, help you take your game to the next level in unimaginable ways you can never think of. That is why a community is so powerful, so powerful.
That's so true. That's very true.
Wherever you just look around, everywhere there is a community.
Yeah.
And every successful thing which has been running for years and years, most of them, they're all part of the communities,
Yeah. That's so true.
because of the community. Yeah. And I highly recommend someone is pursuing their goals no matter what, go seek that support system. Go seek those mentors, coaches. It doesn't matter what it is. Go seek that, because it will help you, give you another perspective. Sometimes we think, I just feel like I'm stuck. I'm doing the work. I'm grinding. I'm working. I'm doing everything possible, but still I'm not making that money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing everything in this relationship. It just, I feel like I haven't gone anywhere. I'm doing everything for my kids, but my kids are showing me the middle finger every single morning.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Because when you're inside the bottle, it is very hard to read the label.
Mm-hmm.
That is why you need the person outside. They'll give you a fresh perspective. And of course, you should be open to take that perspective as well. If you are a person who gets defensive pretty easily, then probably it won't help you.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. I love that. That's a great that's a good image to have around it, and that's very true. Your environment does you become a product of your environment. So if you are going to be around people who aren't going after their dreams or just complaining or victims of their situation, you're going to become that. But if you are in the room with entrepreneurs and people that have done the things that you want to do, you're going to get the knowledge that you need to be able to do the same things, be able to achieve it. And I think that that also ties back into like like when you can sometimes worry about what other people think. why would you worry about what somebody thinks if they haven't done what you want to do? So,
No, exactly. See, the universe doesn't care about your feelings
yeah,
or your emotions or whatnot.
yeah,
What matters is the action that you take.
mhm,
That's how your goals get accomplished. Any big thing, any big success you see, anything worthwhile was able to like someone was able to accomplish that only because of taking action, nothing else.
yeah, that's very true. I love that. I love that. I think that's a perfect note to sort of round us out on and transition into talking a little bit about what it is that you do. I know you've given us a few antidotes throughout our conversation today about exactly what the program looks like for Peaceful Financial Advisor Lifestyle, but could you tell us a little bit about how you help advisors act and do the things that they need to do to achieve the goals and set out the things that they have set out for themselves?
Yes, so my primary purpose is to make sure that advisors, if they are in the business for at least 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
there is nothing stopping them in order to generate seven-figure revenue and take 100 days off,
Mm-hmm.
especially if they feel stuck at a point, and if they are having hard time attracting the right clients, and if they don't have a process in place to service those clients, and stressed out about the business, stressed out about clients, angry clients calling them, and they're dropping the ball here and there in all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the only it's not their problem, the only thing is they don't have the right system.
Yeah.
If they have the right system, everything works.
Mm-hmm.
Without that system, nothing works.
Right.
So it's having the right system. So my job as a transformation coach is to help them put that system in place. How to attract the ideal client,
Mm-hmm.
how to market to that client, how to have the conversation with that client so that it's not the traditional sales. Oh, I wanted to get this client to sign up with me. I want this client to move their assets, their 401ks, their Roth IRAs, like everything to me.
Mm-hmm.
Not that kind of conversation. How can you have a conversation? So that's why I built this program. I built this program in such a way. This is this is not taught anywhere in the financial services industry. I built this program. I poured my heart and my soul and my visualization and my manifestation into this. This program is the real manifestation of my 2 decades of effort. And that is the reason I decided, because when I was doing, I was still impacting and having a lifestyle practice, but I wanted to create more impact.
Mm-hmm.
I was serving about 50 households. If I can help 100 advisors, then these 100 advisors say each of them are helping 50 households, then I'm indirectly impacting 5,000 households. So I'm leveling up my game. That is the reason like why I got into this. That is the reason why I left being an advisor. I'm like, I wanted to full on focus on this. On the side, like I'm doing other consulting as well. I'm training salespeople. I'm doing some speaking engagements as well for some
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur clubs and some businesses where they want me to come and talk to their employees or their groups or mastermind programs.
Mm-hmm.
But most majority of the focus is on this business for now, helping them, helping advisor who are burnt out, who have no clue where they are going, who want a sense of direction, who want to figure out their why. That's our module. The entire one module is help them give the clarity. Why are we in this business in the very first place?
Mm-hmm.
So step by step process, all the templates, all the resources, everything. And me and my team, we are there to help them walk through every single step of the way. So it's a 12-week program, and by application only. So we sort every single person because we wanted to work with only the right fit, and that's what we teach in our program. So we drink our own Kool-Aid. We take our own advice. We act on our own advice. We don't work with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
We want it to work. I always say that if you want it to work with us, you need absolute three qualities. You need to be highly coachable.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be highly decisive. So when you see the solution in your business for the problem in your business, we want you to act on it. Not sit on the sidelines, not think about it. Oh, I'll do it next quarter. I'll do it next year. No, we want you to act on it. And the last thing is we want someone to be resourceful. We want someone to go find the answers. We want them to be more, because when we welcome someone into our community, we want that person to elevate the energy of the community.
Right.
Because if we get someone who's not a right fit, then they're actually going to take the energy of the community down.
Right.
So that is why, especially, I'm very, very cognizant of the people that I get in.
Oh.
And we get them the results, because 7-figure generating revenue by taking 100 days off, it's not a small feat.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, and I am able to do it myself, and I wanted to teach that to others, because I figured it out how can be done. It doesn't have to be stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
The advisors, they don't have to miss their kids' recitals. They don't have to miss their kids' ball games. They don't have to miss, spouse dinners or lunches.
Right.
They don't have to miss family vacations or gatherings.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why we build this program. And that is the reason why I call this company Peaceful Advisor Lifestyle. This program is not just help them to build a business, to actually help them become the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
Which their family deserves,
Mm-hmm.
which their kids deserve, their spouse deserves, their friends deserve, their colleague deserves, and their clients deserve. That is the reason we talk about mindset, we talk about the processes, we talk about the business, the marketing, the sales, the servicing aspect of it, and the health, taking care of yourself. So it's a whole package in itself. And when I was looking for outside what kind of programs were available, and I couldn't find one single program which was doing everything. Some coaches were doing, okay, we're going to give you the marketing. Some coaches were doing, we're going to help you build the processes. Some coaches were doing, we're going to help you with the mindset. And that's when I figured, okay, because one is not enough for you to succeed. Just if you have all the mindset, but if you don't have the right tools, you won't be able to succeed. If you have the absolute best marketing system and you have the worst mindset, it won't help. It won't work out, because your hardware has to match your software.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're in your bank account, if you have $1 million and your thinking is still a trailer park mentality,
Mm-hmm.
then you're not going to go anywhere. You will be still stuck in the trailer park. That $1 million will be gone soon. And we help advisors to kind of get out of that belief system. Maybe we need another episode to not talk about belief system, because that's very, very fundamental
Mm-hmm.
of any decision, why people make decisions.
Wow.
And we help advisors do that.
Yeah. That's so true.
And after this 12-week program, then we have a year-long mastermind program.
Mm-hmm.
That usually we filter another layer, so we get the best of the best in our blueprint program, the 12-week program. Then they graduated into the mastermind program. So that's the reason why we structured it that way.
Okay.
Same thing why we talked about the coaching and the community. We wanted to provide that to the advisors. That was the reason why I founded this company. I wanted to provide those two things, because I know how valuable they are in anyone's success, because it helped me personally. And I wanted to pay it forward to my fellow advisors. Because next to healthcare, I think financial advising and planning is the most critical profession on this face of earth,
Mm-hmm.
next to healthcare.
Yeah.
And as long as we realize that, I think world would be a much better place.
Yeah. Oh, So true. I think that's important. It's definitely important to have all of those things that you mentioned, somebody to help pull you out of your own mind and to be the person that can read the label on the bottle and tell you exactly, what things are, what is on the label. I think that's really important for your finances as well because finances are so inherently emotional and there's so many feelings wrapped up in it and we can easily sort of, just I don't know, it can just become such easy tunnel vision. So being able to just seek an outside opinion is very important. Someone that can help educate you, help you make the right decisions that you need to make for your situation and not for what somebody else is doing. So I think that's so important. I think your work is so important, and I'm so glad that you had a chance to come on here and share with us. Of course, some of the things that you've learned, but be able to talk a little bit about your business for people that are interested or want to find and connect with you. What is the best way that they can do that?
I'm very active on LinkedIn. They can find me on LinkedIn. I don't like doing Facebook or Instagram, but just for the business purposes, I wanted to connect and give my message and spread my message to the people out there. Like as I mentioned, if I figured out that I have the gifts, and it is my responsibility to share these gifts with the world.
Yeah.
Otherwise, then I owe that to myself. I'm on Facebook as well, so they can reach out to me on Facebook and Instagram as well. So they can just put in Rafi Shaik, and they can also search me up on LinkedIn as well, or they can just Google Peaceful Advisor Lifestyle. They can go on my website and send me an email or a message from there.
Okay, that's perfect. We'll be sure to drop those things as well in our show notes. So anyone who's looking to do that, you'll be able to find those informations there, just below. But thank you so much, Rafi, for joining us today. This has truly been a wonderful conversation. I'm personally going to go back and listen through again. Definitely write down some notes, take some good notes, some things that I'm going to have in my space just to remind me, because I think that these are the things you shared today are definitely the first steps and the continuous steps that we have to be taking to see the life that we want to have come true. So I truly thank you for taking some time to join us today. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation with Rafi today just as much as I did, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna hit stop on the recording.